on the helmet. Ice in the breeze.
Welcome to another edition of the Land of 10,000 Takes. Got my homegirl, as always. She knows all, she sees all. Miss Brittany Censor. Britt, what's going on in your world?
Good morning, LJ. Not a whole lot of dog sitting this month, which has been a lot, but very sweet, very sweet. A lot of barking though.
Well, I know that there is something else that is pretty sweet. I'm gonna start off the show by giving you a round of applause because I think you got an early Christmas gift. I know you are probably excited about the news.
Yes.
So I figured that we would start off the show with this. If you've been under a rock and you are a Minnesota Viking fan, you probably still have heard that Kyler Murray was named QB1 yesterday. He had an opportunity to get in front of the cameras, and all the local reporters and journalists had an opportunity to ask him questions. And then KOC had an opportunity to present his thoughts to the local media and give his mindset on why he chose Kyler Murray. But nothing from J.J. McCarthy yet. I'm interested to hear from J.J. McCarthy if we hear from him. But, Britt, give me your thoughts on the news. Again, I'm assuming you're pretty happy about the news.
I was working yesterday. I opened up my phone and I saw confirmed Kyler QB1. And I was like, oh, I got to send this to my guy, LJ, because we've been talking about this now since April.
Long
Before
time,
that.
yeah.
I mean, you and I have been debating what our thoughts are. So I think it's just nice to finally know which direction we're going. I like Kyler Murray. I feel like they've known for a while. I know there's a lot of speculation that it was, a QB competition or whatever, but I mean, I literally, when I got home yesterday, I turned on the TV and there were Kyler Murray, commercials already and very clear, talking about the Vikings and being a part of the Vikings. So I feel like this is something that they've known for a while. I can't remember. It's a new sports drink or something. And he had his parents in it. Have you seen it?
I have not seen that yet, but I've heard from multiple people about the commercial. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, that says he's known for a while that him coming to Minnesota, that he was probably going to get QB1 if he could show that he could catch on to the plays pretty quickly. So.
Well, I'm going to say this. Anybody that knows me know that I am not completely on the fence with the whole Kyler Murray thing. I think
you're not on the fence.
With Kyler Murray, I just think, Brittany, I think he is a great short-term solution for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think he is a long-term solution for the Minnesota Vikings. And my fear is they are going to have to make him a long-term solution. And I just think that's going to be the wrong decision. Here's where I give KOC a lot of credit because everybody's talking about the timing of it, that the timing was weird. They thought that they would let JJ and Kyler play at least one preseason game before they make a decision. Well, the Minnesota Vikings had a night practice the other night, and Kyler Murray looked like trash. He threw a couple of interceptions, did not look good. For all intents and purposes, JJ McCarthy looked way better than Kyler Murray in that night practice. And so I think in defense of KOC, I think KOC thought to himself at that moment, we are probably hurting Kyler Murray, who we think is going to be our QB1, by not giving him all the reps in practice. We're splitting reps with JJ McCarthy, who we know is not going to be our QB1. So why not name Kyler Murray the starting quarterback and give him all the reps? And I think that was the mindset of KOC in making this decision so quickly after the night practice. You kind of agree with my assessment on what KOC was probably thinking?
I think it's very astute. And at this point, I mean, we're getting so close to the beginning of the off season, right? So, so it's like we've been in the balance for so long now that we've got to go with one. Got to
Yeah.
go with one. Let's get it started. Let's see how they perform, right? And you're right. I think the less time you're giving to Kyler Murray, the chances of him actually getting it are not as good, right?
Yep.
So give him more time.
Yep.
Give him more time to prove himself.
And he came out and said that during the spring. He was like, this is the first time in my career that I've had to split reps with anybody. And so he goes, I need more reps. I need more practice at this. And I'm hoping that because now he is going to get more reps, more practice, that he'll start to look better. KOC said he's going to play Saturday in the first preseason game against the Giants. And that's big because Kevin O'Connell has never done that with his starting quarterbacks. They just don't play. And so this is probably the first time since he's been here where not just specifically Kyler Murray, but the QB1 is going to play in the preseason game. So I'm looking forward to that on Saturday.
He has stuff to prove, right? Like, it's not over, right? He's got a number 1 draft pick, right? Like, right behind him on his coattails. So he's got to prove himself.
It's been amazing to look at all the comments on social media. There are a lot of pro Kyler Murray people out there. There are also a lot of pro JJ McCarthy people out there. And I just want to say, no matter who the quarterback is, we should get behind them and hope for the best for this team. So I'm going to blow the Minnesota Viking horn because even though I don't necessarily agree with it 100%, I'm going to back Kyler Murray as best as I possibly can.
Yeah, and as much as I sit here and say that I don't like JJ, I heard about what happened at practice last week or whatever, where someone had yelled like, "We hate you, JJ." Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that. So a fan did that?
A fan did that, yelled from the stands, "We hate you, JJ." And I guess JJ heard it and KOC heard it, and they all looked back and like looked at him like, not cool at all, right? So like we at the end of the day, we want this team to be successful. Who individually we think will get us there, we can disagree with all we want. At the end of the day, we just want this team to do well.
Absolutely. 1,000% agree with you. I thought that was well stated, Brittany Sensor. Before we wrap up this topic, give me your thoughts. Put yourself in JJ McCarthy's shoes. Ooh. How do you this has got to be really disappointing to him. How do you think first of all, how do you think he's going to handle it? And how should he handle it?
Well, it was his position to lose. And he did. For now, right? I think he's done a really good job showing up and not really talking to the media, like being very mind focused on what he needs to do. I think he's got to suck it up and continue to show out if he wants a chance. And the second that Kyler, hopefully not, but the second that Kyler isn't playing well, JJ's got to be ready. So I think he's hurt. How can you not be, right? Like, but I think if he's smart, you put your head down, you do the work, and you come out and you're ready.
I love that attitude, and I'm going to echo that. I think JJ McCarthy needs to toe the line. I think he needs to be the best professional he can be despite all the emotions. You know who the MVP is going to be over the next 48 hours is his wife. His wife is going to be the MVP because, you're never going to get the real JJ McCarthy at practice or behind the podium. You're going to get the real emotions of all of this at home with his wife. So wives and husbands and boyfriends and fiancés are the MVPs in this sort of situation because you've got to have somebody that you can bounce things off of and that can handle the emotions of the situation. I'm assuming that JJ McCarthy is going to talk at some point.
Yeah.
My advice to JJ would be if they don't make you talk, if they don't make you have a press conference, don't do it. You are the backup quarterback now. No one interviews the backup quarterback, and that's the way I would state it if I'm JJ. Don't talk because you're going to be under a microscope. It's a lose-lose situation.
Yep.
People are going to be studying your body language. People are going to be dissecting your words. If you come in too happy, people are going to say, well, he never cared about the position.
Right.
If you come in upset, people are going to say you're pouting. So I would stay away
You can't
from
win.
microphones if
Yeah.
I can do that. But if my bosses tell me that I have to say something, then you've got to be professional about it.
Yep. Talk to your publicist. Make sure you say exactly what you hope to say and get the hell out of there as soon as possible. You bring up a really good point. My mom and my dad were together when my dad retired. I've never
Yep.
talked to my mom about what those conversations were like. Because that's where you see the real person, the struggle,
Yes.
that real deep, when you play at this level, it has to be number one in your life. It has to be. And to come home and digress and have a conversation with your partner about losing basically the love of your life, right? It has to be in what you've dedicated your time and just so many hours and dreams, right? Like I can't imagine. It makes me want to actually talk to my mom about that. I just never have.
Yeah, you should talk. Yeah, you should talk to your mom about that. I'm sure she has some great stories about conversations with your dad during moments where he probably needed that support, whether it was coming home from a practice, having something that pissed him off, or maybe he had a bad practice or a bad game or whatever. I'll tell you, when I was a young coach, Nicole was my MVP because I was not a good husband. I used to take losses and take them very hard. I mean, a loss would sit with me for about a week. And as I matured and became older, I said to myself, I've got to do better than this. And so I'm a much different coach now than I was back in my early 20s.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It would definitely be interesting to see your mom's perspective on just being there for your dad. But that's the situation that JJ McCarthy is in. We've got to transition.
Oh, goodness.
To a more serious topic. Have you been hearing all of the stuff going on in the NBA with Sophie Cunningham and Cheryl Reeves and the whole transgender topic?
The WNBA. Yes, my friend.
Did I say the NBA?
You did.
The W.
The W.
NBA. Yep.
Yes. It's a tough one.
It is.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is definitely a tough one. Just to recap really quick for those of you that maybe have not heard about the situation that's going on in the WNBA, Sophie Cunningham came out and made a statement about transgender athletes. And she said that she basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, this is not a quote from Sophie Cunningham, but she basically said that she felt like she didn't want to compete against anyone that was a biological male. She didn't want her daughters competing against someone that was a biological male. And she came from a perspective where she wanted to protect women's sports. And once she made that statement, she's taken a lot of backlash from protesters that are showing up outside the arena. You've got coaches, our coach for the Minnesota Lynx, who has been outspoken about protecting transgender rights, things of that sort. So Sophie Cunningham has been taking a lot of backlash for it. And there's been a lot of people speaking on both sides of this topic. Now you have former NBA players, Royce White and Enes Kanter, that are now going to push the envelope on this topic. And they have declared themselves, for people that don't know, these are former NBA players that are now declaring for the WNBA draft. And they are saying that they now identify as a woman and they want to play. So now the WNBA is kind of stuck in what they should do and what they can do. I just wanted to pick your brain on this. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this whole situation, Brittany. It's messy.
Based on the statute, right? Like based on the statute, how it's written currently.
Yep.
They can do that.
Yep.
So to me, it feels very political. It feels very, we're trying to make a statement here on what's going to be allowed within women's sports or sports in general, right? Like,
Yep.
there have been fights about girls being able to play football in high school and all that, right? Like, so there's been, this is not a new topic. It's new for the WNBA. It's just not a new topic. Can I say I see both sides?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I remember when the WNBA came out. I was young. I think, what was it, 1993, maybe? 92?
Yeah, around about in there. Yep.
And I remember feeling so much pride that it was something for women, right?
Yep.
And something that women have been excluded from for years, right? So, I'm trying to think of my words. I think we absolutely should protect trans kids. And I also think that women should have something to, biologically, there is a difference, right? And keeping the sport safe for female athletes.
Yep. I agree with you. This is a tough topic and conversation to have, and I have to be careful not to offend. I make my living coaching women's sports. That is how I pay my bills. That is how I pay my mortgage, and this is a tough conversation to have. I think that when you look at the biological makeup of a male and the biological makeup of a female, I think that there is a difference. And I think that if you are born a biological male and you're going through a transition, you have a right to do that with your body, whatever you want to do and how you
1000%.
identify yourself. You have a right to be able to do that. Now, when it comes
100%.
to participating in sports, I think there has to be a serious conversation about that, because biologically there is a difference. And the side of this that people don't see, that I see, is that there are some really go-getter coaches out there and people that want to win so bad that there will be, no matter what level of basketball or whatever the sport is that you play at, there is always going to be that coach that's going to take things to the extreme. And
to the next level.
To the next level. So if you're born a biological man and you transition to a woman, there's going to be that coach out there that is going to have a whole team full of athletes that are women that were born biologically male. And that's the least important part of this topic, but I'm just opening up avenues that people really have to think. The WNBA really has to think, and they have to have serious conversations about which way they want to go with this. I am interested to see, now that Royce White and Enes Kanter is pushing the envelope on this, how the WNBA handles this, because they have had a stance on supporting transgender athletes for a long, long time. Like you said, this is not a new topic. The WNBA has been on the forefront of being in front of this thing. And now they have an issue that they probably thought that they would never have to deal with. And they're going to have to deal with Enes Enes Kanter and Royce White, because those two dudes are not going away when it comes to this topic.
No, they're not gonna step back. Do you remember the movie Ladybugs?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, with Rodney Dangerfield and with his stepson that he puts on his girls' soccer team, right?
Yes.
And they just were the best team, right? They ended up winning and all that. And in that, I'm making light of a very serious situation, right? Trying to come to a decision as an organization, being the WNBA, is going to be very tough, right? If they change one word, biologically female, it's going to raise a lot of hell.
Yep.
And if they don't, it could change the way of the game.
Yeah. It's going to be intriguing how they take the step towards rectifying this. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just interested to watch what they're going to do, because it is a definite serious topic. Our fans out there, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think transgender athletes should be able to play, cross the line of sports, specifically this WNBA topic? If you are born a biological male, should you be able to participate in the WNBA? Put it in the comments.
And maybe there's stipulation. Maybe if they've been playing for, 10 years or whatever, and have been living as female for a certain amount of time, then they could be, where do we draw the line, right? So
Yep.
It's a big topic.
It is a big topic. Put your thoughts in the comments. Also, are you happy about Kyler Murray being named QB1? Are you disappointed? Are you pro JJ? Are you pro Kyler Murray? Put those thoughts in the comments as well. Like Brittany so astutely stated, it's okay to root for the guy that you want, but it's not okay to scream from the stands, JJ, we hate you, and stuff like that. I'm never going to support that. I'm going to support whoever the quarterback is and whoever the backup quarterback is. So, Minnesota Viking fans,
ooh,
you've got to get on board with that. I'm going to support Kyler Murray as best. Are you scolding right now, Brittany?
Yes,
Simpson?
of course. My coworker just told me that she taught her 9-month-old granddaughter to scold this weekend.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. I can't wait to get to US Bank Stadium and scold with every Minnesota Viking fan for week 1 versus those Green Bay Packers. Can't wait.
Are you coming in?
What's that?
You're coming in?
I may come in for that.
Okay.
I love my recliner and my popcorn, but I may get down there for that. Absolutely.
It'd be a good one. Hey, I want you to be careful today.
Okay,
did you hear
why?
Did you hear about like NASA, the whole NASA thing with like the world losing gravity for 7 seconds today?
No, I haven't heard about that at all.
Yeah, apparently there has been something that was leaked from NASA stating that on August 12th, because of an eclipse and because of where the moon is and that we're going to lose gravity for 7 seconds. Do I believe that? Absolutely not. But there are people going around and making all these assumptions of like what it'll look like and what time and what will happen. So if you could stay in today, stay inside, just in case.
That is absolutely insane. I didn't hear anything about that. The only thing I heard was